I'm going to be taking you through the rogue build Whispers of Garge. This is a weapon swapping super duper rogue haste build, meaning it's going to be really, really quick. We're getting tons and tons of haste, but it is going to be a bit squishy. So let's start off with the early game weapons and armour, and then we're going to look at what you want for a best in slot spec for the end game. So, to start off, remember we are going rogue, so we do want to be going with the rogue gear. This is all really simply made early on. If you're not sure how to get these basic items or anything like that, then check out my beginner guide. The rogue gear is going to give you a small amount of armour, some haste, and also some speed. You could even just go straight in with the Assassin's Mask, which is the upgrade to the rogue gear, giving you armour, physical damage, haste, and speed as well. What you will need to do, however, is actually upgrade it with Netherite into a Netherite Assassin Pants. The Netherite version is actually necessary because after that, the final gear you're going to need in the later game is going to be the Soul Dancer gear. And this will be the final armour set you'll be wearing in this build. Giving armour toughness, physical damage, and also lots of haste, of course, because we want haste. We want to be doing really, really quick damage. One other set you could go for is the Emerald gear, which actually gives some haste, but also a lot more armour, meaning you can get a bit more survivability early on with the Emerald gear. Regarding the early game weapons you're going to go for, I would go with an Iron Rapier or a Diamond Rapier. They're very, very fast and you can dual wield them, meaning that we get, with all that haste we've got, we're already going to be doing quite quick attacks. Now, as I said, we do want loads of haste, so the end game weapons you're going to be going for is Garge, the Living Blade. This has a few passives on it, so Power Drain. Attacks grant a stack of haste up to 5 stacks. Once 5 stacks are reached, you feed your power to Garge. So then we've got Feed Me, deal 6 corruption damage to your target, then gain a stack of Void Cloak, increasing your attack speed and reducing incoming damage by 10%, and that can stack 5 times, so we actually get some survivability from our weapon here. It also infuses a dagger in your offhand, unlocking a new combo set of 6 attacks that deal more damage. You are going to be wanting to infuse some corruption into your armour to actually increase some of the corruption damage we're doing, but also we are going to be needing to infuse one piece with corruption resistance. This one here that you can't see the name of is actually called Dead Tide, and this is really interesting as well. We passively, when holding the weapon, generate stacks of Void Cloak, increasing our attack speed and reducing incoming damage, again 10% per stack. Taking damage is going to remove a stack per 20 corruption. And on right click, you can actually release that Void Cloak buff and send Eldritch Energy towards your enemy, dealing rapid damage. It is going to inflict you with corruption over time though, so do be aware of that. And this is where we start looking at how we're going to be weapon swapping, because basically you can hold this, getting those Void Cloak stacks, then swapping to another weapon like Enigma here, which on right click summons a tornado. So I right click, it summons a tornado. If you're standing near this tornado, then we get haste 5, 6, 7, 8. We get haste 8, so we can attack crazy fast. But if I take off my Enigma, the tornado still stays, meaning we are going to keep up that haste. So whenever the tornado disappears, you want to re-equip your Enigma, right-click it to get the tornado back and get that massive haste boost. And you're really excited to see how the weapon swapping comes into effect with this build. It's not the easiest of builds because of all the weapon swapping, etc., but it is crazy fast and really fun to play. Another one we can use is Emberlash, where your attacks basically ignite your enemies, and on right click we can evade backwards while cauterizing your wounds and healing us. So again, some damage and survivability all in one there. The gear we have, the Soul Dancer gear, it's not going to be the most, as you can see, it's like 50, 75, 60 and 70 durability. It's really, really low. So it really is essential that when you upgrade to Soul Dancer, that you get hardening catalysts, which basically make your items unbreakable. Really essential that you do put these on here as quickly as you can. Before that, you could go for mending, of course, but the hardening catalysts are going to be your best friend. On your trinkets and artifacts, we're going to go for the Amulet of Torture, giving physical damage and knockback resistance, and 2 Rings of Fury, giving again the same things. For the artifacts, something like running shoes, increasing your movement speed while sprinting and increasing your step height is going to be really, really useful. The power glove, which increases damage dealt by the wearer, which for more physical damage, so just, basic, these are all physical attacks we're doing. Turtle bracers, which I really like, which gives a 30% chance for damage received to be mitigated. Because we are quite a squishy build, I think this is necessary. Charm of Regeneration, really useful. You basically get Regeneration 2 all of the time if it's active and in your inventory. So again, some more survivability there. Novelty Drinking Hat, basically meaning we can drink and eat quicker. We are going to be using, speaking of drinking and eating, anything with nourishment on it. So, your basic Farmer's Light foods, etc. Potions of Strength are really good. And then also health flasks, which you're going to get from your mind cells, etc. Restores 10% of maximum health and grants regen 4 for 5 seconds. I love these health flasks. They're available really early game, and they carry us through a long way and are really useful. Lastly, we have got the phaser, which teleports you to a nearby enemy, stunning it briefly, and your next attack will then deal additional damage as well. That's got a 1.5 second cooldown, and a really useful item. Regarding the enchants you're going to want, we've got armor ones here, so protection 5 is going to do really well for you on a lot of your items, but also magic protection as well. Swift Sneak 4, enhanced movement speed while sneaking, which we are going to be doing, so really, really nice there. And multi-roll 6. This is going to grant you extra rolls, meaning we can evade and get around a lot quicker in boss fights, etc. And the same with Acrobat. This actually reduces the cooldown of those rolls that you have. We then have Berserker's Fury. If you're taking damage, you become enraged and do more damage. And then we also have Frenzied, where when your health drops, you gain the haste effect. That's right, even more haste. We're going haste crazy. But that is what is so fun about rogue builds. Then we are going with Echo 4, a chance to deal AoE sound damage in an area of 3x3 blocks. Ambush, these are weapon enchantments, by the way. Ambush 1, you deal damage extra while sneaking. So we have both the enhanced movement speed while sneaking, but also when we're sneaking, we deal extra damage. There is going to be an ability I'm going to show you where we can also appear behind our target and stuff. So going quite stealthy, it's going to work really well for us. Sharpness, of course, and also Smite. Regarding the Rogue Handbook, I'm just going to plop this in here. All of them are quite useful. Slice and Dice is going to be our best one. Enter a battle trance, during which your attacks will each grant extra power, stacking up to, I think it's 10? Is it 5 or 10? But you can use the other ones as well. Shock Powder means you can stun nearby enemies. Shadow Step is the one where you appear behind your target. And Vanish. Vanish from sight, entering stealth for 8 seconds. Performing any action or damage will break it. The most important one is going to be Slice and Dice. Mixed with all of your haste, doing those weapon attacks, which obviously stack, giving you extra strength, or extra power, which is basically strength. Think of all the haste and how quickly you're attacking, so you're going to get these stacks up really, really fast when using the Slice and Dice ability. We have got another ability, you can see X down there. This is called Cyclonic Cleave, where you violently swing your weapon around yourself, dealing AoE damage to nearby enemies. And again, it will actually scale with physical damage and haste, which we have got an insane amount of. So this is the talent build here. I'll just leave it like that. I guess you can pause the video and have a look at it. But we're going down for a little bit of range damage here, but mostly some movement speed, health, and survivability up on this side, with also some armor efficiency and a bit of jump height, and then loads of haste and physical damage. Down this side, we're pretty much going for physical damage and haste on all of these. We do get the Skelax Call, where your melee hits have a chance to call down a Molten Hammer from the sky, dealing fire damage to your target and all nearby enemies. Then we go down with some more physical damage, and then Shadow Techniques. Basically, you get 35% haste, and then we get a passive of Slice and Dice, where your melee attacks have a chance to strike twice. And remember, we're attacking super duper fast, so imagine all of those attacks have that chance to actually hit twice. So we're attacking really, really fast, but also we can attack twice on those really fast attacks. This chance is doubled on one-handed weapons. Then we've got Cyclonic Cleave. Oh yeah, of course, I've mentioned Cyclonic Cleave. So there's the talent tree that we're going for. So how do we put it all together, and what rotation are we doing? So number 1, use your Dread Tide so that you get max Void stacks, and that's going to be at Void Cloak 5. So remember, when we passively just hold it, it's going to stack up those Void stacks, and we're going to be increasing attack speed and reducing incoming attack damage. Then, once maxed out, we want to right-click the ability to obviously release that Void Cloak and send that energy towards our target, dealing damage. And it's a good damage over time ability. As soon as you've then done that, we then want to use Enigma to get that tornado out, giving us haste 8, as long as we are near it. Then, once we've got those two things done, what we're going to do is swap to Gauge, the living blade, and also Emberlash. So these are the two main weapons that we're actually going to be using. We're only really using Dreadtide and also Enigma to get those buffs up, which is the Tornado, the Void Cloak, and then the Dot, which is damage over time onto our enemies. The main weapons we're using, like I said, is going to be Gauge and also Emberlash. Every 10 seconds, you should swap back to your Dreadtide to reapply that dot onto the enemy. And of course, we're also swapping back to Enigma only to renew the Cyclone whenever it disappears, which is pretty obvious because, well, the Cyclone disappears. If you are going to use the X attack, which is a Cyclonic Cleave, which I'm doing here, you want to use that after you use your Slice and Dice, which again is the rogue ability, because the thing is, of Cyclonic Cleave, it's doing a lot of attacks. You want to make sure you use Slice and Dice first so that all of those attacks are actually generating extra attack power. One thing I should mention is there is this extra weapon, Assassin's Dagger. If you don't yet have your Emberlash to use with your Gauge, then just use something like this or whatever you have in your offhand. And that is the DPS rotation you will be using for the Gauge Rogue build. Hopefully this was useful for you. And if you're looking for any other guides in Prominence 2, whether that be build guides or other guides just in how to do stuff, then check out the playlist you see on screen.